How are we, Daz?
It's been far too long, Madge.
Been far too long.
Even the little jingle's gone that they used to play.
I know.
Imagine Daz show.
Imagine Daz.
Where's Pods? Get him back.
Good gaffer.
Good gaffer. You all right?
I've just come straight from 2 grassroots football tournaments. We're going to doff our cap to the grassroots game later on.
Your boy, yeah?
Yeah.
How'd he get on?
The first one in the morning, they won it.
Yep.
Second one just now, and I had to leave.
Yep.
They lost in the final.
It's good though.
Good going.
Good going, yeah.
But
2 finals, 1 win.
I know.
One
I'm sun-kissed. I didn't realise it was so hot. I look really red.
You look a bit red.
If you are watching on YouTube or on your smart TVs, I've got like a proper red nose. I look like Rudolph's the red-nosed reindeer.
You look good, mate. You look good. You look fresh.
I tell you what, some of those boys are going to be feeling red and hot in the US of A.
Yep.
Watch it yesterday?
I did. You know, it was one of those that was in the background.
It was. Very much in the background.
Yeah, I was watching it. I was here on Friday with Catman and we was talking about when the initial picture was released. And
listen, I like the quiz. The 14 teams that have beaten England.
It was good, that, wasn't it?
Good one.
That was good. My father-in-law helped me out with that one, Soviet Union. But yeah, I was saying that don't get injured. None of them.
Yeah.
I actually said I wouldn't even play the big guns at all. Looking at that injury, I'd have called up a few fans and said, anyone want a game against New Zealand? But you get nothing out of those games. I know people sometimes question the performance and the result. Haiti put 4 past them. We only put 1 past them. You get nothing from those games. It's just acclimatising yourself to conditions. First and foremost, the main point, don't get injured.
Yeah.
No one wants to get injured. I thought the young lad Rio done really well. I thought he was brilliant. He rightly got man of the match as well. Only 17 years old. It's incredible.
Crazy, isn't it?
But I know people are saying if someone gets injured, we can call up someone else from the... You don't want anyone injured. That's our squad. That's the squad Thomas Tuchel's picked. You don't want no one to get injured. People might say, I want this player injured, that player injured, because we can call players up. That's the squad he's going with. That and everyone needs to back them. And I'd like to think on Wednesday, Costa Rica, we will see from the start, the starting side. Yeah. The starting side that's going to play against Croatia.
And of course, we're going to be debating that throughout the show. And I'm sure you guys will get involved on 0371722 3344. It's the Jude Bellingham or Morgan Rogers situation, isn't it? Lots of people already talking about that. Your thoughts, Ambrose, as a midfielder?
I mean, it's such a difficult one. It's a good headache to have because I think I'm a really massive fan of Morgan Rogers.
And had a great season.
I think he's had a great season. Tailed off a little bit towards the end, but I think he had a fantastic season. So talented. Thomas Tuchel clearly likes him as well. He does the business for England, and Thomas Tuchel normally picks him ahead of Jude Bellingham, who weren't in the squad a few squads back. But it's Jude Bellingham. He's a superstar. He's a global superstar. If you're saying World Cup final, I'm picking Jude Bellingham out of the both. First game, I think he's going to go with Morgan Rogers. I think he's going to play Morgan Rogers against Croatia. I think that the squad numbers, although I look into them and think they must mean something, I just still think he knows he does the business for him, Morgan Rogers, and I think he'll play him against Croatia.
For you, if you're going to do pros and cons on both, give me the pros of Jude and the pros of Rogers, and then we'll do the cons.
I mean, the pros on Jude, and both really, is they're big game players.
Yeah.
Jude Bellingham in particular is a big game player, and he won't bottle anything. And I don't think Morgan Rogers will. Jude's a bit more experienced as well than the Morgan Rogers. They're both winners. I think Morgan Rogers won the Europa League this season, so that's a bonus. That's a benefit. I think I heard there's 14 players in the squad that have won something last year, which is fantastic. But they both drive at people. It's such a difficult decision. I think it just comes down to personal preference, and my personal preference is Jude Bellingham over Morgan Rogers. But I think Thomas Tuchel's is Morgan Rogers over Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I think the cons, not that I know them individually, I don't know Jude Bellingham, but from what you hear and why he was left out the squad in terms of a little bit of an attitude problem, we don't know that for sure, but you get the feel that that's what it was, a little bit of an attitude problem that kept him out, and he's very like...
Tuchel doesn't do superstars, does he?
No, and he wants to be the main man, Jude Bellingham. He wants to, and he is, and rightly so, he wants to. I think Morgan Rogers is a little bit more of a team player, if you know what I mean, than Jude Bellingham. But Jude Bellingham can come up, we see the overhead kick, he can come up with moments, special moments, And you need a player like that in your team.
Yeah, and sometimes even if they want to be the main character, cool. As long as we win, doesn't matter.
Agreed.
Our man, as always, Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Delivering the goods. So it's like boring old England. Harry Kane, 1-0, done.
That's a little bit of a concern for me. I don't know if it is for you or the listeners listening in, that we don't look like scoring when he's not playing. We had a couple of chances. Tony was offside, but you want to put those in the back of the net, by the way.
Correct.
He didn't. Ollie Watkins as well had an opportunity. You want to put that in the back of the net. Harry Kane is inevitable. He's relentless. His goal scoring.
Good word. He is inevitable, isn't he?
It's ridiculous.
And it doesn't matter if it's a tap in or a header. It's just he's there.
I'm looking at Golden Boot and I'm thinking who could potentially get the Golden Boot. Harry Kane could have the Golden Boot in the groups. In our group stage, he could get the Golden Boot. He could score 2s and 3s. And I was saying this on Friday to Catman. You've got to adapt and let him do what he wants to do. Argentina let Messi do what he wants to do. I'm not saying Kane is Messi. I'm the same kind of player, but you have to let him do what he wants to do. If he wants to drop deep and get it off the defenders, you make those runs as wide players. Jude Bellingham, Morgan Rogers, make those runs.
We've got the wide players to do that.
Agreed.
And you've seen this season at Bayern Munich, he's been absolutely fantastic with him.
Yep.
Luis Diaz and Elise around him.
Yep.
He's perfect there, and I think that would really actually suit England. Just in terms of the conditions, like you said, climatising, you've played in hotter climates, like Greece, for
Apollon Smyrnis. Not Smirnoff, Smyrnis.
And what is it like actually playing competitive football in a hotter condition when you're used to, say, England?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough getting used to it. Once you're used to it, it's fine. And obviously that's where the term acclimatising yourself comes from. Because when I first went over to Greece, it was probably mid-30s at that point. Wasn't even their summer, by the way. All the Greek players turn up in coats, by the way, mid-30s. And me and Lee Cook played for Queen's Park Rangers back in the day. We was there sunbathing by the swimming pool, missus all sunbathing as well, and these Greeks were coming out with scarves and coats and hats, and they were looking at us like we were the strange ones. But yeah, initially on the pitch or training pitch, it just saps the energy straight away. It dries your mouth up immediately. Even drinking a lot of water, I'm sure there's going to be water breaks in this tournament, it doesn't really help. It just saps the life out of you, and it takes a while to get used to it. And I see that a little bit yesterday. I bet a lot of those players lost a few kilos throughout that match because you just sweat it out, and it's how you refuel. And I'm sure of course, this England national team, they've got the right people, the right guidance around them to get through it, and I'm sure they have. And I said to Catman actually that they've probably all got steam rooms and saunas all fitted in their house, and they're in there doing skipping or keep ups just to try and acclimatise themselves from home. But everyone has to play in the same conditions. We can't really use that as an excuse, however far we go, because the conditions are there for everyone.
Absolutely. I got a message from Ollie. He said, Madge, red nose is a sign of too much port and Stilton. I can assure you, I've been nothing.
You sat on the little chair. Were you coaching though, no?
Yeah, I was on the sidelines, and that's why I've got the red nose, and I've got like glasses. I look like a panda, don't I?
Do you have a cap? No, I have a cap.
No.
I wear the cap.
I should have
naive that.
I know, especially with a ballad. When you've got no follicles, you got to wear the cap.
You enjoy the coaching?
Oh, I love it.
What age are they?
Under 9s.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah. And it is now time for us to praise the backbone of British football.
Grassroots football.
Your devotion should be to the people who started you off at a very early age, running your football team, getting the oranges, making sure you're there in time.
All skills learned in the park, jumpers for goalposts.
And there's all that joy and the beauty of the game.
Pardew, what's the score? Pardew, what's the score?
From the parks and pitches from around the country, this is the final word grassroots football results on talkSPORT.
Grassroots football results!
That's right. Me and Daz actually started Grassroots a very long time ago because we loved doffing our cap to the Grassroots game, didn't we, Gaz?
You certainly do, mate.
And, it is the end of the season, but that means it's tournament time. Just like the World Cup, all the Grassroots teams have loads of tournaments this week. Up and down the country, boys and girls have been playing Grassroots football tournaments, and we would love to hear your shout-outs if you've been involved in a tournament today And I'll tell you what as well, if you know yourself from getting involved in grassroots football, they're not easy to put on.
No.
A lot of hands on deck, a lot of helpers, a lot of volunteers. So, if you'd like to shout out and doff your cap on national radio, on the world's biggest sports station, to anyone who's been involved, all we want you to do is send us a WhatsApp message on 03 717 223344. That's 03 717 223344. We'd love your voice notes. You can message us as well. And me and Daz will be reading out how you got on. I'll let you know how my boy got on as well. You are the England boss right now, people at home. So let us know who you are starting in the number 10 role this summer. And we'd especially love to hear from you if you was at the game last night or planning on flying out to follow over Scotland, the Tartani, or England.
You know what I want to know as well? Is there anyone out there that's potentially going to try and watch every single match?
Or the World Cup?
Match, yeah.
Oh,
Is there anyone that's that committed that's going to watch all 104 games or listen to all 104 games on talkSPORT?